I don't think it's right that somebody can take your money and live the high life out in another state or multiple different places and vacation all the time while I'm physically working my business and trying to make it better, and someone takes it from you.
But that's exactly what investigators say Jesse Van Boxtel did to Geri Guyette, owner of the Black Otter Supper Club in Hortonville, along with other businesses in Brown, Door, Outagamie, and Winnebago counties. According to the criminal complaint, the owner of the $25 million Duck Creek Landing complex in Howard hired Millennium Construction, owned by Jesse Van Boxtel, to build several multi-unit apartment buildings. As the first building was being constructed, subcontractors told the owner Millennium Construction had not paid them for their work. That's despite Millennium Construction receiving more than $3 million. In 2023, the owner of Duck Creek Landing filing a complaint with the Brown County Sheriff's Office alleging contractor misconduct. That complaint, according to investigators, opening the floodgates to what they believe is one of the largest cases of theft by contractor they've ever seen.
Through our investigation, we were able to get Millennium's banking records, which showed that they were working on multiple projects in which the money from the projects was commingled into one account, and that there was payments from that account that were spent on personal things or things not related to the project.
Investigators say that's against the law. The criminal complaint alleging more than $400,000 of the $3.2 million paid to Millennium Construction from Duck Creek Landing was used to pay expenses on other projects, businesses, or personal obligations for the benefit of Jesse Van Boxtel. The complaint also shows in June of 2023, with more than $1 million from the Duck Creek Landing project unaccounted for and subcontractors still unpaid, Van Boxtel requested a $250,000 transfer from the Millennium Construction account to a title and escrow company in Hawaii. The funds used to purchase a nearly $5 million home in Lahaina.
Wisconsin state statute clearly indicates that a trust must be held for the money for a project, and it cannot be used for any other reason but for that project until all money is paid on that project.
The Black Otter Supper Club, that serves roughly 80,000 people a year and employs 90, hired Millennium Construction for an expansion project in 2021.
The project was about $615,000, and then we had an extra $95,000 for backup in case you open a wall and you don't know. I mean, this is an old building.
Guyette says from the beginning the project was a headache. Following excuses that led to delays, once work finally began, Guyette says the craftsmanship was terrible. The restaurant's flat roof was pitched into the building, causing water damage. Siding was not properly fastened and was falling off. Floors weren't properly installed. Heating and air conditioning issues were created and never fixed.
I should have known right away, and my first thing to the general contractor was, as soon as the wheelchair ramp was poured, it was crooked at a slant, and I said, how is someone going to take a wheelchair up that? And I said, if this is how our project's going to go, this isn't a good sign, right? I was joking, not knowing our project was going to be a disaster.
The shoddy work, however, was only the beginning. A project that should have been completed in 4 to 6 months, carried on for years, was over budget, and like Duck Creek Landing, subcontractors weren't being paid. Guyette finally requesting a face-to-face meeting with the project manager.
We are well over what we were quoted. And he said, I won't let it go over $700,000. And I said, it already is, we're at $735,000. And he looked around and he said, well, I'll put it on someone else's books.
Bank records, according to the criminal complaint, indicate that's exactly what Van Boxtel did.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul multiple times.
The complaint saying Van Boxtel used at least $100,000 from the Black Otter project to pay expenses on other projects or personal obligations to benefit himself.
I don't want this to happen to anyone else. I don't want this to happen to homeowners. I don't want this to happen to business owners.
These criminal charges aren't the first time Van Boxtel has been accused of questionable business practices. Online court records show multiple open civil cases filed against him and Millennium Construction. We not only reached out to his attorney listed on all of those cases, but we also tried to track Van Boxtel down to ask him if he thinks he broke state law by commingling funds from multiple projects. The Millennium Construction address listed on the criminal complaint is now this indoor dog park. Now, his LinkedIn page lists him as president of Citadel Construction in Oshkosh. Messages left there were not returned. Emily Matesic, Fox 11 News.